LPGA just did everything that the WNBA should have been doing this season. They did it all correct in literally one day.
This is not just another Caitlin Clark headline. This is the one that broke the internet. The moment the LPGA announced that Clark had signed a multi-million-dollar crossover contract, the sports world stopped. The deal? A full-scale partnership reportedly worth between $6 and $8 million. Not just a sponsorship, but a multi-year, multi-league alliance that merges basketball and golf under one name, Caitlin Clark. And while the champagne was still popping at Nike headquarters, Angel Reese was on Twitter, fuming, typing, and lighting social media on fire. She didn't mention Clark by name, but her post said it all: "I can play golf too." It was vague enough to play innocent, but sharp enough to draw blood. Within minutes, fans connected the dots. Another passive-aggressive jab from Reese aimed straight at her biggest rival. The response was swift and brutal. Hashtags exploded, memes flooded timelines, and sports analysts started asking the real question: is this about competition or jealousy? Because while Caitlin Clark is cashing checks, expanding her empire, and transforming women's sports into a global brand, Angel Reese seems stuck in a loop of envy, resentment, and social media outbursts. For Caitlin, it's just another milestone. For Angel, it's another meltdown. When Angel Reese hit post, she probably thought she was being clever, maybe even funny. But within hours, her tweet had turned into a PR disaster. The internet didn't just notice, it pounced. Fans, reporters, and even fellow athletes flooded her mentions, calling the post what it clearly was: a bitter swipe at Caitlin Clark's success. Comments poured in like a digital avalanche. One fan wrote, "Just say you're jealous and move on." Another added, "Caitlin's making moves, you're making excuses." Within a day, Reese's name was trending across X, TikTok, and ESPN's front page, not for her performance, not for her leadership, but for her insecurities on display. The backlash hit deeper than usual because this wasn't an isolated moment. It was part of a pattern. Every time Caitlin Clark makes a major move, Angel Reese seems to react emotionally instead of strategically, and it's starting to cost her credibility. The media didn't frame her as outspoken or confident this time. They framed her as jealous, petty, and unraveling under the pressure. Even WNBA insiders began whispering about how these repeated flare-ups hurt her marketability. Sponsors don't want chaos, they want composure. And Caitlin Clark has mastered the art of silence. Every time Reese lashes out, Caitlin's stock rises a little higher, her reputation shining brighter by comparison. By the time Reese tried to walk it back, claiming her tweet was taken out of context, the damage was already done. The narrative had been written, the internet had moved on, and once again, Caitlin Clark walked away as the hero while Reese became the headline for all the wrong reasons. Here's where the Real story begins to take shape, not in tweets, but in tone, discipline, and image. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese might share a court, but they live in completely different worlds when it comes to how they carry themselves. Clark operates like a polished brand executive. Every move is calculated, deliberate, and grounded in results. Reese, on the other hand, plays the media like a slot machine, pulling the lever and hoping for attention, even if it comes in the form of controversy. Caitlin's rise feels earned. Her career trajectory is a masterclass in professionalism. From record-breaking college seasons to becoming the face of the WNBA, she's built an empire rooted in work ethic and humility. When she steps into the spotlight, she commands it. Sponsors don't just see an athlete. They see a story, a safe and inspiring figure that families and brands can align with. Angel's image, however, has become harder to define. She burst onto the scene as confident and bold, traits the public initially loved, but over time, that boldness began to blur into something else: bitterness. The constant social media skirmishes, the thinly veiled jabs, and the defensiveness whenever Caitlin's name trends have chipped away at her reputation. The media no longer sees the Bayou Barbie. They see a frustrated star trying to keep up with someone who's outpacing her at every turn. What makes the contrast even sharper is how differently both women handle pressure. When the spotlight burns hottest, Clark stays cool. She smiles, signs autographs, and walks off with another deal or record. Reese, by contrast, fights the flame, tweeting, reacting, explaining, deleting. It's the difference between a legacy builder and a headline chaser, and it's starting to show in their careers, their fan bases, and their bank accounts. When Caitlin Clark steps onto a court, or now a golf course, the air changes. You can feel it. Every camera tilts her way, every crowd swells, every brand pays attention. Her influence has grown beyond basketball. She's become a movement in motion, the embodiment of what it means to elevate women's sports to new commercial and cultural heights. Her LPGA partnership is proof of that. This isn't a token crossover or a celebrity cameo. It's a strategic expansion that bridges two professional sports under one magnetic name. Caitlin Clark has turned into a living brand ecosystem. The LPGA knows that when Caitlin plays, ratings spike. Ticket sales rise. Broadcast networks call. Parents bring their daughters to see her in person, not just because she's talented, but because she's transformative. Sponsors see her as the golden standard of marketability, clean image, competitive fire, and universal appeal. She represents everything sports executives dream of: relatability, professionalism, and profitability. From Nike to State Farm, from ESPN to the LPGA, Clark is the gravitational pull of women's athletics. She's creating synergy between leagues that used to exist in separate universes. And that's what makes this moment historic. Caitlin Clark isn't just boosting her career, she's shifting the economics of women's sports. The LPGA, which has struggled for mainstream attention, now expects record-breaking exposure just by associating with her name. The WNBA is already seeing higher ratings and new fans pouring in because of her. She's proving that women's sports can be prime time, not niche. Meanwhile, every step she takes forward deepens the contrast with Angel Reese. Because while Caitlin's signing endorsement contracts that reshape industries, Reese is still firing off tweets that reshape her public image, for the worse. One is breaking barriers. The other is breaking her own brand. In the world of sports, perception is everything, and Angel Reese's image, once bold and magnetic, is now collapsing under the weight of its own contradictions. She came into the spotlight as a symbol of confidence and rebellion, the self-proclaimed "it girl" who dared to challenge the system. But somewhere along the way, that confidence started to look less like swagger and more like bitterness. The problem isn't that Angel Reese speaks her mind, it's how she speaks it. Her public statements, her tweets, her constant comparisons to Caitlin Clark have painted her as someone who's fighting for attention instead of earning it. Each time she fires off another passive-aggressive post, fans and analysts see less of a competitor and more of a frustrated rival struggling to stay relevant. And in a media landscape where attention is the new currency, she's going broke fast. Brands have noticed it too. While Clark is being handed million-dollar sponsorships and opportunities to expand into golf, fashion, and media, Reese's engagements and endorsements are slipping. Her social media numbers are dropping, her fan engagement's cooling, and her name only trends when Caitlin Clark's does. That's a dangerous place for a public figure, to become famous only for reacting to someone else's success. The harsh truth is, Angel Reese's brand isn't evolving. It's recycling itself. The same tweets, the same defiance, the same defensive tone. And it's starting to exhaust even her most loyal supporters. Sports analysts are calling it brand fatigue. The more she tries to hold on to the spotlight, the dimmer it gets. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark doesn't even have to lift a finger. Her silence is louder than Reese's noise. In the age of image and influence, Angel's downfall isn't happening on the court. It's happening online, one tweet at a time. What started as a personal rivalry has now become a mirror reflecting a much bigger issue: a cultural and generational divide inside the WNBA. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese aren't just two athletes at odds. They've become symbols of two competing visions for the league's future. On one side stands Clark, calm, polished, and business-minded, the professional every sponsor dreams of. On the other is Reese, outspoken, emotional, and raw, the player who thrives on social media buzz and defiance. Together, they embody a tug-of-war between old-school credibility and new-age celebrity. Behind the scenes, players are quietly taking sides. Some WNBA veterans grumble that Clark's fame was handed to her by the media, that she's being elevated at their expense. Others admit, albeit reluctantly, that Caitlin Clark has done more for the league's visibility in 2 seasons than anyone else has in a decade. Her arrival brought sold-out arenas, record-breaking TV ratings, and sponsorship deals that injected new money into the league. For the first time in years, the WNBA is being discussed in mainstream sports circles, and Clark is the reason. Yet, that success comes with tension. Players like Angel Reese see the spotlight as unfairly tilted, an imbalance that feeds resentment. Instead of rallying behind Clark's achievements, some perceive them as a threat, a sign that the league values marketability over merit. And so, every success Clark earns becomes a trigger for controversy, every headline a reminder that one player's rise can make others feel left behind. This internal divide is the WNBA's ticking time bomb. It's great for clicks, terrible for culture. The league is milking the drama because it keeps fans talking, but beneath the surface, it's risking a fracture that could derail its progress. Because whether Angel Reese and others like it or not, Caitlin Clark has redefined the WNBA ceiling. The question is whether the rest of the league will rise with her or resent her until it breaks apart. Caitlin Clark's rise isn't just talent meeting opportunity, it's strategy meeting precision. Behind her ascension is a multi-billion-dollar corporate machine that knows exactly what it's doing. And at the center of that machine is Nike, the same brand that turned Michael Jordan into mythology, Tiger Woods into a religion, and Serena Williams into a movement. Now, they're doing it again, but this time, with Caitlin Clark. The moment Clark declared for the WNBA, Nike didn't see just a basketball player. They saw a storyline, a once-in-a-generation prodigy who could rebrand women's sports from the ground up. The timing was perfect. The NCAA ratings were booming, social media engagement was peaking, and women's basketball had momentum like never before. Nike moved fast, locking her in with a record-breaking endorsement deal and a marketing plan that stretched beyond the court, commercials, merchandise, documentaries, even fashion collaborations. But here's where it gets interesting. Nike isn't just selling Caitlin Clark, they're selling what she represents. Precision, professionalism, possibility. She's the embodiment of every young athlete's dream. To dominate with grace, to win without controversy, to become the face of an era without scandal. That's why her image is spotless. Nike's PR machine works around the clock to keep it that way. Every photo, every quote, every interview is filtered through a brand lens that screams, "This is the future of women's sports." Meanwhile, Angel Reese's narrative sits outside that machine, raw, reactive, unpolished. And while authenticity has its appeal, brands crave predictability. Reese's volatility scares sponsors. Caitlin's consistency secures them. Nike knows that one slip-up can cost millions, so they've turned Clark's entire career into a masterclass in controlled excellence. The result? A player who's not just breaking records, she's breaking the marketing mold. Her LPGA crossover wasn't random. It was the next chess move in Nike's grand plan to make Caitlin Clark a multi-sport empire. And just like Jordan before her, she's proving that when business and brilliance align, legacy isn't built, it's engineered. Angel Reese's story isn't just about rivalry, it's about resistance. In her mind, she's not just competing against Caitlin Clark, she's fighting against an entire system that's rigged to favor her rival. And while that perception fuels her fire, it's also becoming her downfall. Reese sees herself as the outsider, the rebel who refuses to conform to corporate polish or scripted soundbites. But in a league powered by sponsorships, TV rights, and public relations, that defiance doesn't make her a hero, it makes her a liability. Behind closed doors, WNBA executives and brand partners have reportedly grown cautious. Reese's online persona, impulsive tweets, emotional outbursts, veiled jabs, has made her unpredictable. She thrives on confrontation, but the system she's fighting against feeds on control. Brands like Nike and Gatorade don't just sell athleticism, they sell aspiration, comfort, and trust. Angel's volatility doesn't fit that template. The result? Doors that once seemed wide open are quietly closing. What's tragic here is that Reese has the raw charisma and athletic ability to be a generational star. She has the kind of personality fans want to root for: fiery, outspoken, unapologetic. But instead of channeling that energy into leadership or reform, she's using it to wage war against perception. Every time she calls out bias or mocks the media, she may win applause from her inner circle, but she loses ground with the very institutions that build legacies. This is the paradox of Angel Reese. She's right about the system being unequal, but she's wrong about how she's fighting it. Instead of rewriting the narrative, she's reinforcing it. Every post that drips with resentment only deepens her image as the angry rival. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark doesn't have to respond, because silence is power, and Reese keeps handing it to her. What started as a rivalry has now become a battle of ideology. One player is being built by the machine, the other is burning herself out trying to fight it. And unless something changes soon, Angel Reese might find herself on the outside looking in, watching as the same system she challenged moves on without her. Let's be clear, this rivalry isn't just happening on the court. It's being manufactured and magnified by one of the most powerful forces in modern sports: the media. Every headline, every viral clip, every quote out of context. It's all part of a carefully constructed narrative war. And make no mistake, the media has picked its favorite. From day one, Caitlin Clark was the perfect protagonist. Clean image, record-breaking stats, and a storyline that practically wrote itself. The great white hope of women's basketball. Angel Reese, on the other hand, was painted as her foil: emotional, brash, and unapologetically confrontational. The press framed her confidence as arrogance, her passion as attitude, her defiance as disrespect. Two women playing the same game, but portrayed through completely different lenses. That contrast sells, and they know it. ESPN, Bleacher Report, Fox Sports, they all feed off the tension. Every time Reese rolls her eyes or posts a cryptic tweet, it's clipped, captioned, and monetized within hours. Every time Clark drops a record-breaking performance, it's elevated as class and greatness. The result? A feedback loop where Clark's success becomes divine and Reese's resistance becomes villainy. But the truth is more complex. Angel Reese isn't the villain, and Caitlin Clark isn't flawless. The real story lies in how media machinery controls the narrative, amplifying one archetype while suppressing another. It's not just about basketball, it's about power, race, marketability, and media economics. Outrage gets clicks. Division gets engagement. Nuance doesn't trend. And yet, both women are trapped in this same ecosystem. Clark benefits from it but can't escape its pressure. Reese suffers from it but refuses to play along. The media wins either way. That's the brutal genius of it all. They've turned real athletes into serialized characters in a never-ending drama, and the audience can't look away. The question is, who breaks free first? Because in this media war, the one who reclaims her own story will be the one who defines the future of women's sports. Every generation gets one rivalry that changes the game forever. Bird versus Magic. Serena versus Venus. And now, Clark versus Reese. But what makes this one different isn't just their skill or their storylines. It's the timing. This is happening in an era where social media, streaming platforms, and sponsorship dynamics have merged into one colossal ecosystem, where perception equals power and influence equals income. And that means the Caitlin-Reese dynamic is more than entertainment. It's the beginning of a revolution in women's sports economics. Here's the truth. Love them or hate them, both women are forcing the world to pay attention. They're generating record-breaking viewership, drawing unprecedented corporate investment, and dragging women's basketball, sometimes kicking and screaming, into the mainstream. What used to be niche coverage on a Tuesday night has become must-watch television. Brands that once ignored the WNBA are now bidding for ad space. Networks are expanding primetime slots. Young girls are buying jerseys. The sport is no longer fighting for respect, it's fighting for dominance. Caitlin Clark brings the precision, professionalism, and crossover appeal that corporations crave. Angel Reese brings the authenticity, passion, and raw energy that fans connect to. Together, they create a volatile mix of competition and charisma that's impossible to ignore. Whether they realize it or not, they've become the twin engines driving women's sports into its most lucrative era ever. And that's the irony. Their rivalry, built on conflict, is the very thing uniting a fractured industry. But with that revolution comes a choice. The leagues, the players, the brands, they all have to decide what kind of future they want to build. Do they lean into controlled narratives, sanitized for sponsors? Or do they embrace the chaos and authenticity that got them here? The answer will define not just the WNBA, but the entire future of female athletics. Because if there's one undeniable truth about the Caitlin Clark-Angel Reese saga, it's this: the world is watching now. And once the spotlight shines this bright, there's no going back to the shadows.